Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. On our channel we talk about all things homesteading and we try to implement some of those on our rural 100 acres here in southern West Virginia. Well, today's video we want to talk about how to train piglets to electric fence. And the situation I'm in right now is I've got 7 piglets that are ready to wean, and we got to get them separated from the sow. And in that separation time of weaning, obviously you isolate them away from the sow, or you isolate the sow, you can do either way. But I like to isolate the piglets, and during that same time, be able to get them trained on electric. So what's the plan? Well, of course I picked the hottest day we've had this summer. It's hotter than monkey nuggets right now. So what I'm trying to do, before we did this excavation behind the barn, before we did all that work, if you want to see that video, I'll reference it. A while back, a year and a half ago, we cut all this hillside down to make this flat area. But I used to have a small fenced-in area with woven wire with electric on the inside. That's where I would wean my pigs. I get the piglets put in there. The electric fence around the inside of that woven wire would obviously train them. So I've got to set that up since obviously we've excavated, and I haven't done that since then. Last time I weaned, I just weaned in the barn, and my piglets weren't as trained on electric as I'd like them to be. So the plan is to take this area here. This is a area that's starting to grow over. I don't have pigs, haven't granted the pigs access to this ever. So you can see it's grown up. There's tons of clover in here. It's a little dry and crunchy right now because we haven't had rain in about a week. But I've got this woven wire here that is an old fence section. It's got electric on it, but we're going to take all that down and we're just going to finish this square. So I may leave this side up and we'll just come back around and tie in here so the pigs will have access to the barn. They can go in there and cool off in the shade, and but then they'll still be able to come out here and get on grass. And this is where I'll have the electric fence, so that'll get them some training there. So the first step, of course, is to turn off the electric. But we'll start moving this fence here. Again, I'm going to go ahead and leave this little pocket because I got some autumn olive growing in here. I've got some other weeds taking over, even some sycamore tree that are starting to grow up. And we'll let the pigs take care of that for me. So I'm just going to leave this section here. I'll go to the end. That fence goes about another 50 yards and just terminates at a gate. And that's where the woven ends. And it just goes to single strand electric from there. So I'm going to start taking that down and bring the woven back, and we'll find a way to get it down over the hill. The camera doesn't really show this very well, but there's about an 8-foot drop in elevation. It's pretty steep because that's the old grade, and then here's where we made the new grade. And I've got a ditch right here too that usually has water in it, but right now, again, since we haven't had rain in a while, it doesn't have any. But we'll try to just box this out, move some posts, and see what we can do. Okay, so we've got our woven fence stretched, and stretched is a loose term, a little ugly looking, but it's been used, it's been around the block once or twice. So the key really isn't to make this fence super impervious, because it's not like the pigs are going to be able to sit here and take time to figure out how to get into it, or get under it. The electric fence will deter them from even testing it. So even like right here, grasshopper on my head, even right here where I'm passing over this ditch, pig could just zip right under there. But when we put a step-in post with electric drawn down here, that'll keep them from doing that. So we just came down and picked an arbitrary corner here. We're going to turn and go back to the barn. And we'll come down here. And we'll just tie back into this corral. But what we'll do is we'll put this 4-foot cattle gate here. So let's make a little bit of a choke down. If this gate is here and I'm bringing pigs this way, if we're bringing them from one pasture over here, I can actually, between here and this fence line behind the side-by-side, I can stretch, I only need about 15 feet of electric line to stretch there, or some sort of woven, some sort of barrier, and I can choke them down into this point. So we'll put this gate here. Now, again, standard cattle gate is not going to stop pigs. In fact, if you look at the last time I used this cattle gate to stop pigs, I thought I'd be clever and put some 4x2 welded on it, and that would keep the piglets from squeezing through. And you can see how they remedied that issue. They blasted through that. So what we'll do is I'm just going to take this woven off, get it out of there, or take this welded off and get it out of there. And I'm just going to hard attach, I'll just screw some boards directly to this. So we'll just make this a hard gate, the first 2 sections. Pig's not going to jump over that, of course. So we'll attach that to the corral wall, and then we'll be ready to put the electric on. Okay, so the gate, this is the inside of the gate, and we're going to attach these boards, again, just to deter the pigs from trying to squeeze through. The piglets are actually big enough. I don't think they're going to squeeze through, but I don't want to give them the opportunity. The reason why I'm attaching to the inside of the gate, of course, is pigs, all their force is this way. So if I was attaching it to the outside, there's a chance they could obviously just break the screw off or break the board. This way there's more resistance and it's going to make them bounce back. So I'm just using some self-tapping screws. Love these things. Again, they'll go through the wood and straight into the metal. At least that's the plan. Straight into my finger. Yeah. All right. So hopefully that'll be a pig deterrent. That's some red oak. That should be decently strong. All right, so I got the gate hung. It was a little uphill, but it'll work. You may wonder, why do I put my gate up before I've gotten my fence done? Well, it just makes it easier for me to judge where to stop the fence. So if I'm going to pull the gate, or this is where I want the gate to be closed, then I'm going to set a T-post right here. So when I latch that gate or close that gate, I can latch it to this T-post securely. And that way, again, if a pig is ramming this side, this is the side that the pig will be on, so the pig is ramming this gate, then this is going to slow him down and hopefully keep him from busting it wide open. Maybe come in just a little bit more just to make sure it's going to not flex. So that's where we'll stick it. Okay, so we now have electric fence along the inside of this woven little pasture, paddock, or whatever you want to call it. So from the back corner of the barn here, all the way around, you can see the woven fence there. And then back here to the corner where I am with the camera. In fact, I'll just go ahead and swing all the way around. It ties into the corner with the gate. Obviously I didn't electrify the gate area. I just simply put a step-in post here to tie it off and finish it out. So now that I've done all the work, I'll explain exactly how this works. Why is this the ideal situation to train piglets on electric fence? Obviously this clover is going to be an issue. We'll have to weed eat around it and take it down low. But pigs naturally have an instinct when they're in danger or they feel threatened, they shoot forward. They're just built to go forward. Little shovels in their faces and everything. They just plow through stuff. So standard electric fence right now, you may have seen in the background there, one of the pigs just walking through. There's a single strand of electric over on that side. That's the larger pasture that all the sows are on. That's where we got to get the piglets in here to get them weaned. And they just kind of cruise under that when they find low spots. Even when they don't find a low spot and they go to start under it, they know it's going to hit them, so they run real fast. So you run and go through it and take that hit if they really want to get through it. So in essence, I'm kind of reinforcing negative behavior over there. But quite frankly, I'm just not ready to get them off of that pasture until I have this ready. So think of that scenario here. So if a piglet comes up here and says, oh, this is the electric fence, I'm used to this, I know what I can do. I can get my little pork butt under that super quick, and it'll just be a temporary hit, or maybe I'll even time it in between. They're that smart, I believe. So in this situation, a pig's going to go through that and hit, And this fence is going to slow him down enough that he's going to bounce him back, and guess he's going to get hit more than once. So a couple times of doing that, it's going to break him a sucking eggs real quick. He's going to hit that, bounce back, hit that, bounce back. He's going to learn to turn when he gets hit. So eventually, after getting hit so many times, he'll start to recognize this. Now you can even come back, I've done in the past, I'm not sure if I'll do it this time, put a little survey ribbon, just a bright color ribbon or something around here, around the actual wire, so they have that visual cue. And then of course you can carry that over. But a pig can sense the electricity. I don't know if it's their nose, if it's whatever, they're picking it up, but they know it's there, or they can visually, this is a visual cue for them. So once that becomes established that I'm not getting past that, the electric fence is just simply a psychological barrier. They'll stop hitting it. It's a good way to train them to get them to respect the electric. Again, a single 17 or 14 gauge wire should not stop a couple 100-pound hog, but because it's psychological to them, they know this thing hurts, then they're going to keep from going through it. So that's why once they're trained, you can get them out of a fenced-in area like this. You can go to a pasture that just has 1 or 2 single strands. Some people use hog panels instead of woven. Again, I just used what I've got. I had enough woven to stretch all the way around here. Actually had a little bit to cut off that a bunch of hateful weeds and bushes were growing around. So this is a real basic pasture area. It's not huge. Again, for 7 pigs, it'll hold them, but it's not like they could thrive in here for a while. They're gonna decimate this if I left them in here too long. The plan really is to only leave them in for about a week. Merida should dry up in about a week, and then I could move them back in there and it not be an issue, but I'm not. I'm going to, from this point forward, I'll keep my piglets separated from my sows, simply because the piglets are going to have access to, I'm going to put them here on the south pasture, which is this side behind me, and we'll give them access to the 1-ton feeder where they can have unlimited access to feed as we move them through from pasture to pasture. So it'll be one of those situations where I want the piglets to be able to bulk up the way that I want them to, but I don't want my sows bulking up, because if I'm going to breed some of them, again, obviously I don't want them huge. That causes birthing issues. So when it's time to train your piglets to electric fence, simply just make a corral. Again, it doesn't have to be woven fence. It could be hog panels. It could be wooden. It could be super small. Just something that you have electric on the inside that they can get that hit and get that training there. They'll pick up on that pretty quickly. And that will allow you, if you take the time to do this, usually at weaning or whenever the time makes sense to you. But if you take the time to do this, it's some extra effort, but it allows you to have more freedom when you put them out on pasture. I've had, because I've been working on this, I've had the electric fence unplugged for about 3 days now. So the piglets are kind of going in and out. They won't leave their mom. But the sows, they've been here so long and they've been adjusted to that electric fence for so long, they don't go anywhere. They won't even try it. In fact, I can walk through the pasture with a piece of electric fence in my hand, just a piece of wire, and they'll just keep backing up because they have tuned in so much to that visual cue that, hey, that thing hurts, I'm going to stay away from that. So it really is a good way to get your pigs trained and keep them inside the pasture. Well, we hope you found this video useful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe below if you haven't. And also check us out 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when we upload a new video at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And also check out our website, redtoolhouse.com. Take care, everybody.